Case File 10. The Shrine Below the House. Classification: Active, Unresolved. The following report documents the events submitted by Cassandra Holley, a 28-year-old paramedic, who recently moved into her late aunt's rural home outside Briarford County. Cassandra claimed that her aunt's house felt alive under the floorboards, and that she heard whispering, like children learning to talk. At first, she assumed it was stress or her imagination adjusting to living alone. But 3 days after moving in, she found the first sign that something was wrong. It began with a pattern of scratching beneath her bedroom floor, precise and rhythmic, not rats don't tap in sequences. When Cassandra knelt and pressed her ear to the wood, she swore she heard a second tapping in response, as if the first rhythm had been answered. Cassandra inspected the crawlspace the next morning, expecting to find animals. Instead, she found something stranger. The crawlspace floors had been freshly disturbed, the dirt overturned in wave-like shapes that looked deliberate, like something had been dragged through the soil. No footprints, no tunnel openings, just sweeping marks carved into wet earth. On the fourth night, the tapping returned, but this time it was followed by a voice. A thin, breathy whisper rose from beneath the floor, so soft it blended with her breathing. It said a single word: Cassandra. She fled the room and slept in her car with the lights on. The following morning, she contacted the county sheriff. The sheriff performed a quick check and found no signs of intrusion. No burrows, no animals, nothing. But Cassandra didn't feel safe. She told me that she planned to dig into the crawlspace herself, convinced that her aunt had hidden something beneath the house, something that was calling to her directly. She was right. 2 days later, she uncovered the first piece of the shrine. Cassandra's aunt had never been religious, which made what she found even stranger. Beneath a thin layer of packed soil was a circle of smooth river stones, each carved with a single symbol lines that curved and interlocked like veins. At the center of the circle sat a bone, long and polished, wrapped in red thread. As soon as she uncovered it, the whispering started again, louder this time, rising from the soil around her like steam. Let us see you. Let us see you. Cassandra scrambled out of the crawlspace, hitting her head as she backed away. She didn't sleep that night. She didn't return inside until sunrise. She called a local historian who specialized in Briarford folklore. His name was Dr. Ivers. When he arrived, he inspected the stones and bone fragment with uneasy fascination. He told Cassandra the symbols matched carvings associated with an old Briarford belief, the underkin entities said to live between the roots and the dead, watching humans through cracks in the earth. The legend warned that once a shrine was started, the underkin would continue building it on their own, using whatever they could find, including bones. But the legend also said something worse. The shrine served as a door, and the more attention given to it, touching it, uncovering it, listening to it, the wider the door opened. Dr. Ivers insisted on sealing the crawlspace immediately. Cassandra agreed, but when they returned with wood planks and tools, the crawlspace had changed. The stones were gone. So was the bone. In their place was a fresh circle, larger, deeper, and carved into the soil itself. And in the center, something waited almost expectantly. A recently severed animal jaw, still wet. The whispering began again, but this time it wasn't calling Cassandra's name. It was calling both of them. The whispering built into a low, chanting multiple voices repeating short, broken phrases, yet the crawl space was empty. No bodies, no movement, only soil and shadow. Dr. Ivers stepped forward against Cassandra's protests. He crouched at the edge of the circle, adjusting his glasses with trembling fingers. "This isn't a shrine anymore," he murmured. "It's an invitation." Before Cassandra could respond, the soil at the center of the circle sank, deflating like something beneath had pulled it downward. A hole opened small, round, perfectly smooth, and something pressed up from inside it. A hand, gray, thin, with fingers too long to be human. Cassandra screamed, grabbed Ivers, and dragged him out of the crawl space. They slammed the door and shoved a dresser against it, the wood vibrating as something struck it from below. They fled the house. They stayed in Cassandra's car until daylight. When they worked up the courage to check again, the crawl space door was untouched. But inside, soil covered everything. The shrine was buried again, as if it had never existed. But the tapping continued that night. Only this time it wasn't beneath the house. It came from inside the walls. They contacted Briarford County's paranormal research team, underfunded. Small, more curious than official. Cassandra and Ivers provided recordings of the tapping, the chanting, and Cassandra's first-hand account. The team arrived with equipment, ground-penetrating radar, thermal imaging, and acoustic mapping tools. The readings were impossible. Thermal scans showed tunnels, dozens of them, running beneath the house and branching out in all directions. Some reached up to the foundation, some to the walls. Others stopped directly beneath Cassandra's bedroom, but the tunnels revealed no living heat signatures. Yet the acoustic sensors recorded movement slow, dragging motion, circling the house over and over. Around 3 a.m., while the team monitored equipment, one of the researchers froze. His headset picked up whispering, not underneath them, not in the walls, directly behind him. When he turned, nobody was there, but the house groaned as if settling over something heavy. At dawn, the team reviewed the radar data. Cassandra watched as the screen flickered with new readings. The tunnels seemed to shift, repositioning themselves in real time as if whatever lived down there was mapping the humans in return. The team recommended evacuating the house, but Cassandra refused to abandon her aunt's home. "I just need to know what they want," she said. "Why me?" That night she found out. Cassandra awoke to silence. No tapping, no whispering, just quiet. She reached for a glass of water only to realize the floorboards beside her bed were slightly lifted, bowed upward by something pushing from underneath. Before she could stand, the boards split, and two pale hands emerged, gripping the edges of the cracked wood. Cassandra ran. She sprinted down the hallway as the house erupted with noise walls buckling, floors splitting, whispers spiraling into a unified hiss that filled every room. She reached the front door, but it refused to open. The floor beneath her feet shifted like breathing earth. Then a voice clear, close, and childlike spoke directly behind her. "Do not leave. We have built this home for you." Cassandra turned slowly. A figure was climbing fully out of the floor. Hairless, gray, thin, eyes dark and shining like wet stone. It approached her, crawling low, joints bending in unnatural angles. "Stay," it whispered. "Let us finish the door." Cassandra grabbed a lamp and swung it down, shattering it across the creature's skull. It collapsed, shrieking with a sound like grinding teeth. She fled through a window, barefoot, bleeding, and didn't stop running until she reached the main road. She never returned. When authorities entered the house the next morning, the entire crawl space had collapsed, sealing whatever tunnels once existed. No trace of a shrine, stones, bones, or carvings remained. But in Cassandra's bedroom, the floorboards showed fresh handprints, pressed up from below. 2 weeks later, the house was demolished. During excavation, workers found an underground chamber. Not official, not natural. Inside it was a single object, a wooden plaque carved with a phrase, "We were here before you." The chamber collapsed minutes later, burying everything. Cassandra relocated to another state. She reports occasional tapping in her apartment walls. She refuses to let anyone investigate. Case status: ongoing. Entity classification: unknown. Recommended protocol: do not respond to tapping.